Hi artists! My name is Heather Duncan, and today we're going to do this awesome art tutorial on this project. It's called a masking tape resist. We're going to be working with primary colors, watercolors, and we're going to be using masking tape to create these really cool lines where we're going to be using a color blocking method to fill in each space. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, we're going to go over our supplies first. We're going to be using masking tape. It's important that you're using either masking tape or washi tape. You don't want to use Scotch tape because that's not going to come off of our paper correctly. We're going to be using watercolor paper or cardstock, something that's thicker and can withstand the watercolor. We're going to be using a black pen. I'm using a Sharpie pen, but you can use any sort of pen. We need a watercolor brush, some watercolors. Here's my watercolor palette that I'm using today. A clean water well, and I like to have a paper towel handy to kind of clean off my brush in between colors. Alright, let me tell you the steps we're going to take. First, we're going to use our masking tape to tape down our paper to the table, and then tape lines across our paper to form these sections that you see that don't have paint on them. After we do our masking tape, we're going to be painting each of these sections individually using a wet on dry technique. After that, we're going to let it dry, pull off the masking tape, and then use our black pen to write some statements about ourselves in between these lines. Okay artists, let's get started with our masking tape. I've got my paper down. I'm going to be doing my paper vertically, which means it's facing kind of the long ways up and down instead of side by side or side to side. And I'm going to tape my paper down. Now this might be something that you need an adult to help you with, which is completely fine. But I'm kind of getting half my paper on the table, then half my tape on the table, and then half my tape on the paper, okay? This is going to keep our paper from curling on us as we put wet watercolor on top. Now I'm going to take my tape and just form some geometric shapes by putting the tape across my paper. And honestly, I'm just going where I feel like it. I haven't planned these out. So I'm gonna go across my paper. You just want to make sure that when you take your tape, let me use my pen here. This is the end of my tape, so you can see it. So I didn't bring my tape out onto the paper. I stopped my tape in the middle of another tape line. That's really the most important thing you want to make sure you do. Then I might do another one right here. Okay, awesome. Okay, our tape is down. I'm going to kind of fix this right there. Our tape is down. Now we're going to add our watercolor. I'm going to get my watercolor brush. Now I'm going to be using primary colors. Primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. All other colors of the rainbow are created using these three colors. You cannot recreate red, blue, or yellow with any other colors. These are naturally occurring colors that all colors are made from. So I'm going to be using those three colors today, but you know, if you want to be using other colors, you just do what feels good for you, okay? If you want to use pink and purple and green and orange, that's fine. I'm going to be using primary colors today because I like how they look in this project, and it's also just a good teaching moment for me to tell you about primary colors. Now, I have used a wet on dry technique here to put my yellow paint down. That basically means that I'm using a wet brush with paint and I am applying it to dry paper. This technique is good to use whenever you're wanting to have a lot of control over your colors and where they go. And it's okay if I get a little bit on top of my tape. I don't want to paint it all on top of my tape here. I want to be mindful a little bit, but it's totally okay to do. Okay, so I've got 2 yellows down. Now I'm going to go in for my blue. I like to use this color blue. And I have perfectly mapped out, looks like I have 6 blocks of color. So I'm going to do 2 of each color. But again, please feel free, if you feel inclined to do one of all of your blocks a different color, that's fine. Or you want to do the same colors as me. Whatever you'd like. That's one thing I enjoy about teaching art, is I love to see how other people interpret the same lesson. So one person might paint the primary colors like I do, whereas another person might paint blues and purples and greens. My daughter really loves to do this lesson. Sometimes I will find her painting this masking tape resist after school, when she's done with her lessons. This is something she enjoys doing. Okay, now I've got my blue down. I'm going to be painting these other 2 sections red. I'm just gonna load my brush. Whenever we put water onto our watercolors and we kind of get the paint going, I like to call that waking my colors up. I like to wake my colors up. Tell them I'm here to use them. Wake them up. And we always, whenever we're working with watercolor, we always want to make sure our brush has a lot of water on it. You know, it's called, I always say it's called watercolor, meaning you can't have color without water. You have to have the water to really wake up your colors and get them activated. Okay, there's my red. What a beautiful piece of red there. Okay, now we're going to come in and do our next color of red. Here we go. Okay, awesome. I've got all of my color on my paper. Now, I'm going to clean my brush off. Now I'm going to let this dry really good, and then when we come back, I'm going to take the tape off, and then we're going to finish it with some marker. Okay, now's the fun part. We're going to take all this tape off. Now, I have to tell you, you have to be gentle when you're taking the tape off. I don't want you to rip your paper, so don't just yank it off. You have to go pretty slow, okay? So I'm just going to peel this up, and I'm going to peel it off. I realized I probably should have done my inside tape first, so I'm gonna do that. Oh my goodness, look at how good it looks. I bet yours looks really good too. Put that over there. I'm so proud of how this is looking. This looks so clean. You know, you could do this and use the masking tape to maybe put your name on the paper, or maybe a letter, your initials. You could write out your initials with the masking tape. There's lots of things that you can do with this technique, okay? Just really use your imagination. Awesome. Oh, guys, this looks great. I'm actually really proud of this. Good job. Okay, Now I'm going to show you our example. So this is my example. In all of these lines, I'm going to write some statements about myself. I want you to write some statements about yourself, okay? Who are you? Are you a sister or a brother? Are you a good friend? What's your favorite subject? Maybe math or reading? Maybe you have a favorite sport. Maybe you're a good drawer. What is something that is about you that is unique to you? What I want you to do is I want you to write those sentences in all of these lines, okay? And you know what? If you're giving this as a gift, you could write about a mother or a grandmother or a father or grandfather or maybe a friend or cousin, someone who's very close to you and you want to give them a gift. You could write some sentences about them too, okay? All right, let's get started. I'm going to start by saying, I am a good reader because I love to read. And I kind of have to turn my paper here, okay? I'm going to write another one. I like to help my friends when they need me. Sometimes I bring my friends dinner if I know that they are really busy, or maybe they have someone sick at their house. I like to bring them dinner. You know what else I really enjoy? I like flowers. That's something I really like to do. I like flowers. What else am I? Do you know I am a mom? I'm going to write the word mom. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I'm going to write the word daughter. I am a friend. Awesome. Okay, I have one more that I'm going to write in. You know, I'm going to write, I like to solve problems. Do you like to solve problems? Sometimes problems can be frustrating, but I like to be the person who solves those problems. Okay. You guys, what a cool finished product we have here. Do you see mine? I wish I could be there to see yours. I bet it's so pretty. Let me read to you what I wrote. It says, I like flowers. Mom, sister, daughter, friend. I like to solve problems. I like to help my friends when they need me. I am a good reader. That's a little bit about me, Heather. I wonder what you wrote on yours. I bet you wrote some really cool stuff. All right, thank you so much for joining me here today in the space. I had so much fun creating this project with you. This is called a masking tape resist. We used watercolor, markers, masking tape, and we used our wet on dry technique today. All right, thank you for creating with me, and I cannot wait to see you back here next time.